Hello everyone, my name is General Fancy Pants, and welcome back to Secret Files Tunguska. When we last left off, we were able to get on the train finally, and now we are on the search for our dad, basically, at this point. Right here, there is a soldier here. It's just a graphical glitch that he's not showing up, but he is there, trust me. And we did a little bit of exploring of the train car, but let's kind of keep looking around here a little bit. Okay, looks like there's a little kitchenette here. Let's see what we can explore.
Acacia honey! Sweet and with a mild aroma. I should know. I was a honeybee in my previous life.
Okay. Let's see if we can take that. And we can. So we have a kind of a weird mix of items now. We have this light bulb, we have dried fruit, orange juice, and honey. I'm not really sure what we're going to do with that, but it's all sorts of food that could make a smoothie or something like that, I suppose. Anything else in here? Some eggs?
I always thought you couldn't tell if an egg was fresh or not just by looking at it. I have just changed my mind.
Those are... they look fine to me, but I guess they're not. And we have a pot.
A large pot.
Can I take that?
It's big and I don't need it, so I'll leave it here.
Fair enough. Okay.
A water tap. I don't want to wash my hands at the moment.
Alright. Is that pretty much it for this room? Yep, I would say so. Ooh, what's this, a schedule?
A 3-month-old duty rota.
Alright. So there's no in the menu.
The catering list for the week. Today is potato soup. Delicious.
Potato soup, that sounds good. What happens if we turn the light switch off?
I should put the light bulb back into the lamp first. Quite a bright idea, really.
Okay, that's not what I was going for, but we already looked out the window. So I guess, I'm not sure, there doesn't really seem to be anything in here. I don't know if there's anything in the bag here that we actually need. Let's go through the door.
Oh, there are the first scientists already. Maybe I can get some information here. However, I should not ask too directly about my father, so that no one becomes suspicious.
Okay, seems reasonable enough. Let's look at the assistant.
Scientific assistant. That was an insult at university, but he really looks quite nice.
Alright, let's talk to him.
Hello. May I interrupt for a moment?
Psst, not so loud. Dr. Lesniak is working and is really concentrating. We really shouldn't disturb him. Plus, he's in a pretty bad mood.
What happened? Why is the doctor in such a bad mood?
He's under a lot of stress. We are working on a test series, and Professor Sid Oricon wants results as quickly as possible.
I understand. And this Professor Sid Oricon gets very angry if he doesn't get results quick enough?
Well, he's okay. But Dr. Lesniak is unbelievably ambitious and naturally tries to finish as soon as possible. And when the doctor is stressed out and doesn't have bread and jam, he can become quite unpleasant.
Bread and jam?
Yes, it sounds strange, I know. But he apparently needs it to reduce his stress. Other people beat the heck out of a sandbag. He eats bread and jam.
Well, we all have our own ways and means to deal with difficult situations. And if he gets bread and jam, he gets a bit more sociable?
Yes, it helps. Unfortunately, he accidentally dropped his glass jar on the train platform. And there's no jam here on the train. I've looked everywhere.
Okay.
I'll be on my way then. If I find any jam, I'll let you know.
That would be great. Working with him when he is in such a bad mood is really not a pleasure.
Bread and jam, you say? Well, hopefully we'll find some. because we really need to talk to that doctor. Let's kind of take a look at some of the stuff around the room here. Let's see, the analysis equipment.
That reminds me of my chemistry lessons. Not a pleasant memory. As long as the scientists are in the room, I'd better not touch anything important looking.
Fair enough. How about the glass?
One of the samples that gets analyzed here. As long as the scientists are in the room...
So we can't really touch anything, but we can look at stuff. Okay, so we have some white bread right here.
White bread. It's so fresh and soft that it almost falls apart just by looking at it.
I'll take that.
Surely I can take one slice. Well, I'm sure that owner will be able to spare it. Big time white bread robbery. I can see the headlines now. No, I don't know any fence who will take it off me, and apart from that, the black market prices are at rock bottom.
How does she know that? I guess she's been a white bread. Oh, how would I put it? White bread trafficker, maybe? Who knows? Ooh, there's that power outlet down here.
I paid a bit of attention in physics, and I know that electricity comes out of there. I'm not putting my fingers in there. It's bad for my hairdo.
Okay, so we need to... Let's see if we can even go in there. But we need to figure out where we can get some jam.
Yeah?
Excuse the interruption. Can I speak to you for a moment?
As long as Dr. Lesniak doesn't have a successful breakthrough in his experiments, no.
But
The train can blow up for all I care. I don't want to be disturbed.
it's really...
No!
Okay. Guess we can't do anything here. How about the next door?
The door is secured with a huge padlock.
Oh yes, I do see it. Alright, so we need to get some jam, or in this case, we actually have to make some jam. And we actually have all the ingredients, because jam is pretty basic as far as what ingredients are actually in it, at least real jam anyway. So, we have fruit, which is vital for jam. We have liquid, which is vital for jam, this bottle of orange juice, and we have honey, which is a sweetener, which helps make jam thicker and more tasty. So let's see if we combine these ingredients into the pot here.
In you go.
And the orange juice.
I'm sure that will be delicious. Or not delicious.
Either way, you're correct. And the honey.
Doesn't matter what else I throw in, it's not going to get any better.
Alright. Now we have an empty bottle here. Let's look at the pot with jam.
If I see properly, today's stodgy could prove to have a certain similarity with jam.
Okay, let's take it.
It's big and I don't need it, so I'll leave it here.
Alright, never mind. Let's see if we can put it in the empty bottle. We can't. Can we just put it directly with the bread?
Well, what do you know? I should really take part in a cooking competition.
And... oh, let's do the other one.
As long as I don't know what I'm going to do with a further slice of bread and jam, I'm not walking around here with that sticky stuff.
Alright, never mind. So now we have some bread and jam. Maybe do we give it to the assistant then? To give to the doctor? Or the scientist, I mean? Nope. Maybe we can tell him that we have it.
Has the mood got...
Quiet. Otherwise, Dr. Lesniak will completely lose it.
Alright. Let's go back to the doctor then.
Yeah?
Excuse the interruption. Can I speak to you for a moment?
As long as Dr. Lesniak doesn't have a successful breakthrough in his experiments, no.
But
The train can blow up for all I care. I don't want to be disturbed.
it's really...
No!
Alright. Who do I give this jam to? Because that's the only train cars that there are. Unless did I miss a person there completely? Did I just completely not even see the other person? Oh, yep. Okay, it's another graphical glitch. That's why. Man, this is going to be a problem if this keeps up. He's actually right here.
That scientist looks like he is in an extremely bad mood.
We'll just have to take your word for it.
Hello. I just wanted to see if everything is all right.
What? Oh, yes, everything's okay. Now, let me work in peace.
Yes. Whatever you say.
Okay, let's give him the bread and jam.
I've got something here for you. Perhaps it will help improve your mood.
This is for me?
Yes, you do like bread and jam, don't you? I made it myself, just for you.
Thank you very, very much. Very interesting. You said you made it yourself. Yes, very interesting and very delicious. Thank you. I really needed it. I'm feeling much better already.
I'm very happy that you enjoyed it. Has it helped your mood a little?
Yes. I owe you one. If I can ever return the favor.
Then I'll get back to you. Maybe sooner than you think.
Anytime.
Alright, so we have improved the scientist's mood. Let's talk to him.
Hello. Are the good mood and the ability to concentrate back in gear?
Yep. I'm doing much better. I know that this obsession with bread and jam doesn't exactly speak well for a reputable scientist. It's just one of my quirks. I simply need it now and then.
Yeah, it's okay. We all have our weaknesses. Also, when some have a huge screw loose.
Alright, let's ask him about the work wagon.
What exactly do you do here?
We are studying the regenerative capabilities of certain plants.
Sounds very interesting. How does that work?
The study?
Yes.
We'll both be old and gray by the time I've explained it. Please don't misunderstand me. I don't think you are stupid. But you can't explain it in 5 minutes.
No, that's fine. You're probably right. Would it disturb you very much if I watched you working? I find all of that absolutely fascinating. I also promise not to ask too many stupid questions and not to interrupt.
All right, but don't touch anything. And if you have any questions, I'm sure Alexei will be happy to explain it to you.
Thank you. That's very nice of you.
Alright, let's ask him about the scientists.
Are you the only scientists on board this train?
No, not as far as I know. Apparently there are a few on board, but the compartments are separated from one another, and the doors are being guarded by soldiers. That's too bad. It would have been interesting to discuss research results among yourselves. Well, hopefully we'll have enough time for that later.
You have no idea which of your other colleagues are on the train?
No. The only person who has a complete list of the scientists and scientific researchers is Professor Sid Oricon.
I'll have to get my hands on this list. Then I'll know for sure if Dad is on the train or not, and exactly where I can find him.
Okay. Let's ask him about Sid Oricon.
Who is the Sid Oricon?
Professor Sid Oricon? He is my direct superior and the scientific director of the biologists. You don't know him? He's an absolute genius in his field. There's hardly anyone who knows more than he does in the field of molecular biology.
Oh, that must have passed me by. Do you think I could talk with him for a moment?
He's right next door. But if I were you, I wouldn't bother him right now. He's under a lot of stress and is extremely irritable. And when I say extremely irritable, I mean even more irritable than me when I have to go 2 weeks without bread and jam.
Wow, that bad. Then I'll be careful. Why is he so irritable?
There are a few problems, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. I have to go back to work now. You'll excuse me.
Alright, so we learned a little bit
If
more
I
about...
promise not to stand in the way and not to ask too many stupid questions, can I have a look around?
Sure. but don't touch anything.
Alright, we learned a little bit more about Sid Oricon, and that he is more irritable than the scientist here. Oh, an incinerator.
I have no idea what one can do with that thing.
I'm assuming incinerate things. Here's a board with looks like all sorts of calculations and things.
There are chemical formulae written on it. If I had paid a lot more attention at school, I still wouldn't understand them.
I wouldn't either, I'll admit. Let's take a look at this desk.
The assistant's table.
Okay. Let's talk to the assistant again. Maybe he has more information for us.
Phew, that was close. I have only just saved humanity from the terrible Dr. Jekyll.
Oh, thank you very much. Working with him is now so much more relaxed. I owe you one. So if you have any questions, I unfortunately can't tell you everything. I hope you understand that.
Of course. I'm happy that I can see your work at all. A soldier who interests herself for science, that's not a daily occurrence, is it?
No, and certainly not someone as pretty as you.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh, pretty smooth. Alright, let's ask him about the scientists.
What you're doing here looks incredibly complicated.
Really? It's actually quite simple. These plant samples were exposed to radiation that is very similar to the radiation in the Tunguska region. At first the doses were kept rather low, and were then continually increased. I exposed the samples in that device over there to a flame with a constant temperature, and see what remains from the plant.
You burn plants?
Yes, you could say that. We are trying to determine which dosage of radiation no longer leads to the complete deterioration of the cell structure.
Wow, I even understood that.
Well, I deliberately left out 2/3 of the explanations.
Wonderful. Once in my life, I'm proud of my scientific abilities, and you blow the whole illusion apart.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, it's alright. Alright, let's ask him about Tunguska.
What exactly will you be doing at our destination?
You mean in the research station?
Yes, exactly. There. Scientific assistants also seem to be easy to question on an international level. So, it has to do with the research station. Maybe I can squeeze an odd secret or two out of him. What exactly is your task at the station?
Unfortunately, I can't tell you that. Otherwise, the station wouldn't be a secret.
So, it's secret, is it? Very good. Come on, boy. Tell me more. Yes, I understand. But perhaps you can tell me something which isn't quite so secret. I have unfortunately little idea about biology and chemistry, but it certainly is fascinating, isn't it?
I can only talk about what Dr. Lesniak and I are supposed to be doing there.
Sure.
A long time ago, they discovered that the plants in the region exhibit abnormal plant growth. It isn't a secret. It was all over the newspapers.
Yes, of course.
And now we are trying to influence this growth in a controlled manner.
Fascinating. And what is the goal?
Unfortunately, I can't say. But imagine if we could arbitrarily manipulate the growth of plants. That would solve the problem of world hunger in one fell swoop.
Wow, that really does sound like a huge goal.
Indeed.
Okay, so we have a new journal entry to read. Excuse me, let's ask him a little bit more about Tunguska, see if he has any more he can tell us.
What I wanted to ask you was...
Just a minute. If you can pester me with questions, then I can too.
Oh, yes, of course.
It's nothing personal. So, why have so many soldiers been brought into a prohibited zone?
Prohibited zone?
Yes, in the research station and everything. I mean, with the materials and all the people here, you could wage a small war.
Yes, well, I'm not allowed to talk about that. You scientists have your instructions, and unfortunately, we have ours.
Ah, I understand. I willingly tell you everything about our experiments, and I have one little question and get an answer like that.
I'm sorry. I would love to tell you everything I know, but that is very little anyway. It's nothing personal, but what I do know is top secret.
Yeah, it's okay.
Alright.
I'll be off then.
Okay, see you later.
Let's go to our journal. I think there's actually a couple entries we have to have to read. Starting with Yep, involuntary trip. Oop. Trans-Siberian Railway. Are in fact scientists on board the train, and some of them are not there voluntarily. But just as Nina boards the train, it starts moving. What should she do? Jump off and perhaps never see her father again? Nina has no choice, and her involuntary trip begins. However, she needs to be extremely careful, because the train is crawling with soldiers and secret agents. Alright, yes, that's very true. We did sneak on the train, so the minute someone doesn't recognize us, we are in trouble. Sid Oricon's list. Trans-Siberian Railway. Professor Sid Oricon has a list of all the scientists and research assistants on board the train. Is Nina's father one of them? A look at this list would definitely be worth its weight in gold. And research station in Tunguska. Trans-Siberian Railway. Nina was able to find out several very interesting things. The secret research station has apparently been built in the Tunguska region. They have discovered that the growth of some plants there is completely outside the normal range. The scientists are now trying to understand and reproduce this growth. But what does Nina's father have to do with it? And that's it. So there's looks like a slice of tree with abnormal growth rings, I guess. And yeah, I guess I don't really know if this is true, like if this is a true fact that they threw into the game that there is abnormal growth in the Tunguska region after the incident, or if it's just for more plot devices. But I'm not really sure. But either way, I think I'm going to call it an episode right here. You probably heard my alarm going off, and I will see you guys next time when we continue the search to find her dad. I'll see you guys next time on Secret Files Tunguska. Until then.